Centennial Arena. Before there was a Rainbow Roots Association, we folks out here had a group called the Valley East Community Trails Association, and we had the same three trails that we still have. This one here, which we're going to go on now, it's going to be what we call the Sugar Bush Trail. It's had many names over the years, and this trail, as well as this route that we're going to head on, was part of a plan many years ago to join the Langdon Park with the ski hills in Capriol. Lack of interest killed it, actually. Nobody wants to do anything. So what we're going to do is go on this short loop. Before we make a left here onto the Sugar Bush Trail, looking ahead, you'll see a trail that's very badly damaged. This was once part of our planned trail. This section here would go to Frost Street. That was before the drainage districts were put in, and before ATVs became so popular. It used to be a pleasant walk, and now it's a very badly chewed up trail. Now, swinging here to our left, you'll notice the ATVs have been out, and this has been part of the problem here. The VECTA had, through a Molson grant many years ago, with volunteers, we had refurbished much of this trail, put in some posts, which were pretty quickly pulled out of the ground, and as seems to be the habit, is the ATVs took it over, and this is the kind of thing what you see. The ATVs, as anybody with half an eyeball would notice, just damaged places. I understand there's places where you can share with them, but they're interesting in spinning the wheels and powering around corners. Makes a mess of this trail. When I talk about the damage done by ATVs, you'll note the deep ruts as they turn around the corner. The dirt goes to the outside of the trails and becomes difficult to walk on. Not as bad as it was on the other section I showed you, but bad enough. Before we dismantled our latest group, Valley East Trails, they're still on the books to do some work on this trail, but quite frankly the lack of interest or help or anything, even communication with the parks people, it just was too discouraging, and we couldn't go on. Now, in the early days of Valley East Trails, we had actually had the head guy for parks come out and some other people, and we talked, and we learned a couple of interesting things. One was basically they didn't even want to talk about this trail anymore. They basically abandoned it. I don't know how you can decide to abandon something that for which you're responsible for. And also, at that time, we were going on the Centennial Trail, which I'll visit one of these days very soon. And eventually we were told the only reason we got that trail, when it was still part of Valley East, was to shut us up. Can you imagine? And then that trail got left for a while because you're told there was a ditch going through, and nobody bothered to tell us. So that was the end of me in disgust. Now, when we get to that, when we get around to Centennial Trail, I'll tell you about the refurbishment that took place 2 years ago. Now, one thing going for this trail, for a very short period of time during the fall, this is the most spectacular of our trails. Right to my right is the Paddy Sugar Bush, hence the name Sugar Bush Trail. And while we have a variety of trees here, we also have a lot of maples, and it was just spectacular. This year, like a lot of years, I tried to catch it at its peak and came out several times taking pictures, but as luck would often have it, you have them get nice and red, and then you get a windstorm, and that's it. So those of you who've walked this trail will know exactly what I mean. I hope you can see the fence post here. It's very hard to see the fence, probably even more difficult. There's another fence post there. That would be Paddy's land over there, or Paddy. Not much care is taken these days. See the trees falling across the fence. You see in a way why ATVers feel obliged to ride on it, but really, they should organize. They have no place to really ride, like, legally. Although the council let them ride along the side of the road with only quads, to go to what they say to trails, when they're always baffled me because there aren't any trails, and they don't seem inclined to organize themselves like the snowmobilers have. The snowmobilers have done a magnificent job in what they do, but still got the renegades. Yeah, here's more of the fence here. We're now at a junction. Where we go left, we stay on the Sugar Bush Trail. We go ahead, and it's a real mess down there. You can see this is private property. I believe the owner, or was back in the day when we had that kind of information, who owned what, when we were trying to push a trail through, was a family called Hoole. You can see here what's typical what happens with the ATVs. They totally destroy a section of the trail, and then they form a bypass. I know a lot of you watching this will be ATV people, and you may get upset, but you can't get, well, what I say, but you can't get any more upset than I do by the mess you make. So here we are, we're carrying on, we're going back towards the arena, and we'll come out at the back of the arena. It's a very short trail. Memory serves, it's less than a kilometer anyway. This is the ugliest part of the trail. It's just a swamp, or dumped in swamp. And right ahead, somebody has made an effort to stop ATVs from going through, but as you'll see, it stops nobody. And we're not blessed with anybody with any foresight in the Parks Department that care to do anything else about it. One of the reasons I wanted to come out here today and do this video is because once the winter gets full bore, there'll be no access to this trail. The snowplow plus the fellows from the rink with their Zamboni plug up any entrances. Now, to give due to Andre Rive, I had contacted him last year complaining about that, and he said he'd have a look, and eventually it was cleared so we could get on there. The section that we just came through by the ballpark was also plugged. It's this thing again about you can use the trails, there's no service, but as mentioned before, they actively plug it. There's no concept or cooperation between anybody. Mr. Contractor, I guess it is, plows the parking lot, and nobody gives a hoot about people walking the trails, and that upsets me. Anyway, that's it. Next one, Centennial Trail. Excuse me. Next one is Howard's Nature Trail. This is sometimes called Centennial Trail. Bye.